to you live from Nairobi, Kenya. This is TV47 News Tonight. It is a Thursday, the 16th day of March 2023. Quite a lot lined up just for you, but first to the headlines. Tonight,
I was discharged for lack of any evidence against me. And that's why I was discharged from the charge of treason.
Opposition leader Raila Odinga has threatened to sue President William Ruto for defamation. Following the president's claims on Wednesday at State House that Odinga masterminded the 1982 coup. Also tonight, President William Ruto unveils lists of new appointed CSs. Former Governor Kidero, Omanga and Itume feature in the list as big names miss out. Plus, security forces bomb bandits hideout in Tandare area, Baringo County, as the search for criminals intensifies.
Najua hatujazoea sana hiyo migurumo kama hiyo. Ni kama ya radi tu vile ilikuwa. Inaguruma tu sasa hatukujua ni nini.
It is 9 p.m. East African time. Welcome to the bulletin. Catherine Simalo is on the sign language interpretation. I'm yours truly, Stanley Iringete. Economists talk to us on our socials below your screens. Now, we start with taxpayers will part with at least 2 billion shillings to cater for the salaries of the new chief administrative secretaries in the next 5 years. This is after President William Ruto nominated 50 chief administrative secretaries to the various ministries. And as Flora Limuki reports, big names have missed out in the list as President William Ruto rewarded his allies who lost in the 2022 general election. Among them, former Governor Evans Kidero, Millicent Omanga and Fred Outa, among others.
CSs will now be taking home more than 700,000 shillings as gross salary monthly. This is according to the Public Service Commission. With 50 CSs having been appointed, taxpayers will part with more than 38 million shillings per month, 459 million shillings annually, and up to 2.2 billion shillings in total for the next 5 years to cater for their salaries. Apart from that, CSs are entitled to a 35 million shillings mortgage, 10 million shillings car grant, 10 million shillings medical cover, and 3 million shillings inpatient and outpatient medical cover. President William Ruto's allies who lost in the August 2022 general election have been featured largely in the list, among them former Nairobi Governor Evans Kidero, who has been nominated at the CAS Ministry of Trade, Millicent Omanga, Ministry of Interior, Catherine Waruguru in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Wilson Sosion, Ministry of Tourism, Dennis Itumbi in the Ministry of ICT, Onesmus Ngunjiri, Bishop Margaret Wanjiru, Isaac Mwaura and Rehema Jaldesa, among others.
To work in unity as Kenyans. And that's why you do not even have discrimination. I've just seen my name in 411. I'm still trying to digest it because I was not expecting.
The roles of CAS entails responding to issues touching on the portfolio assigned to the office and providing liaison with the bicameral parliament and county government on the matters touching the ministry's affairs. They are also mandated with providing interministerial coordination, representing the CS at any meeting as instructed, and executing any other duties and responsibilities specifically assigned to the office by the CS. Following the appointment, their names will be submitted to the National Assembly for approval. Flora Limuki, TV47.
All right, now to some matters politics. Opposition Chief Raila Odinga has threatened to sue President William Ruto for defamation following the president's claims on Wednesday at State House that Odinga masterminded the 1982 coup. A tough-talking Odinga speaking from Nakuru County said he was cleared of treason charges, but President Ruto continues to spoil his name. And as Apollo Kamau reports, Odinga has said he is ready to pay the ultimate price on D-Day Monday next week.
Azimio coalition leader Raila Odinga camped in President William Ruto's political bastion of Nakuru County 4 days ahead of D-Day Monday, when Azimio stages what they call a sit and occupy protest in the nation's capital. A tough-talking Odinga unsettled by President William Ruto's no-holds-barred criticism, accusing him of masterminding the 1982 coup in an attempt to overthrow President Daniel Moi's regime, hit back at the president, saying he will sue him for defamation.
Serikali ilishindwa kulishtaki mimi, wakalazimishwa kuniwacha mimi huru. Mimi nitakushtaki wewe kwa kuharibu jina yangu.
On Wednesday, the president and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua, while hosting a delegation from Trans Nzoia County, said they have had enough of Odinga in what they described as politics of blackmail, spanning 50 years, by the opposition chief, credited for multi-party democracy, among other leaders.
Huyo mzee ni sisi na yeye. Huyo mzee amesumbua Kenya for the last 60 years wakiwa na baba yake. Wakati ya kumalizana na hiyo mtu ni wakati huu, na ataenda akiedanga.
Bwana mkubwa, wewe ulipanga mapinduzi ya serikali ya Kenya. Wakenya wengi wakapoteza maisha yao.
Odinga further used his first Nakuru rally since the last election and meant to give his People's Baraza forums a national face to tell the president to brace for face-off on Monday, saying he is ready to pay the price.
You can assassinate Raila Odinga physically, but you can never assassinate his ideas and the cause for which he stands. And I will say that I am prepared to pay the ultimate price if that will mean liberating the people of Kenya.
The opposition further allayed the Kikuyu community fears that their businesses will be destroyed during the demos, while warning foreign diplomats to keep off Kenya's internal affairs.
Tunajua wananjama tukienda Nairobi watumie wafuasi wao kidogo waende waingilie vile Raila amesema maduka huko Grogan waseme ni wanaazimio. Hao tunataka hakuna mwanaazimio mwenye kutaka mabadiliko ya haki ambaye ataenda kuharibu mali ya mtu.
Azimio heads to Kiambu County on Friday, another Ruto's political stronghold, before taking a rest over the weekend to prepare for Monday's mega demo. Apul Kamau, TV47.
And at the same time, Azimio One Kenya leaders have expressed their concerns over the safety and the security of Azimio leader Raila Odinga, following recent utterances by Kenya Kwanza leaders stating that they will hold the government liable should anything happen to Odinga. Led by ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna, the leaders now want Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua to record a statement to the DCI regarding his remarks on how to deal with Odinga. However, Kenya Kwanza leaders have scoffed at the Azimio leaders, insisting that the government will not tolerate any violence. Elizabeth Mutuku with the details.
Leaders allied to Azimio One Kenya coalition have raised concerns over the safety of Azimio leader Raila Odinga following utterances by Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua regarding planned mass action set for Monday next week.
Huyo mzee ni sisi na yeye. Huyo mzee amesumbua Kenya for the last 60 years wakiwa na baba yake. Wakati ya kumalizana na hiyo mtu ni wakati huu, na ataenda akiedanga.
The Azimio leaders, led by ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna, want the government to be held liable should anything happen to Raila, stating that Deputy President should be summoned by Directorate of Criminal Investigations to shed light on the remarks.
As the Azimio coalition will hold Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua personally responsible if anything should happen to Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga or indeed any member or leader of the Azimio One Kenya coalition party.
It's clear to Mr. Ruto that we do not support his decision to reconstitute the IEBC without consulting other stakeholders and interested parties, including the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition party.
The Azimio Brigade says they will not relent on their demonstrations, urging security apparatus to desist from being used against what they term as peaceful demonstrations to express their displeasure with the Kenya Kwanza government. The leaders affirmed their position of joining the party leader for a major demonstration on Monday to protest against high cost of living and what they termed as a bungled election.
Has hurt our economy through deliberate acts of omission and commission. Therefore, for the chain of events that are set to unfold beginning Monday, the regime has only itself to blame.
So sisi tunauliza kuendanga wapi? Raila is a Kenyan, a patriotic Kenya, is going to remain as a Kenyan, is going to remain to live in Kenya, na hakuna pali Raila Amolo Odinga anaenda. So kama unasema Raila Odinga aende kuendanga, aendange wapi?
Kenya Kwanza Brigade, led by Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah, had no kind words for planned demos on Monday, terming it as anarchy, urging Raila to find a better method to address his concerns.
This is a nation that will be governed by the rule of law, not the rule of men. Past regimes might have made Mr. Odinga believe that he is above the constitution and above the laws of this republic. We want to say that the government now has a sacred duty and responsibility to show Mr. Odinga that he is a subject of the constitution and a subject of the laws of this republic like all other Kenyans.
Then stand firm. We are not going to support anything else like these issues of handshake. We know what he's looking at, where he's heading to. It has happened. We have talked to our members of parliament from other regions where they are talking about, he has taken them in circles, and we want to tell them we are not going to bow.
Further urged the government through security apparatus to deal with any sort of insecurity or violence should it arise from the demonstrations.
Si wakati wa maandamano. Na tunajua wakiandamana Nairobi, wale watu wataumia zaidi ni watu wafanyibiashara, wale wadogo dogo. Tunajua wafanyikazi wengi na biashara nyingi katika mji huu wetu wa Nairobi ni watu wa kutoka mlima. Kwa hivyo tunaona hii ni mbinu moja ya kutuharibia biashara zetu.
Watoto wenu mrikola from Yela wakuja kesho hapo, na hatutaki kuona Ahmad Vehicles inasindikisha watu alafu ati kukiwaka ndio Raila aingia hapo ndani alafu maskini ndio washed damu. Hapana.
Naona ndugu yetu Kalonzo pale mbele na hakuwa kwa ballot paper, si mbunge. So tunamwambia Kalonzo na ile watu wamfuata, please, the Kamba community cannot cry more than the bereaved.
As the D-Day to the planned mass action fast approaches and both sides hold their tough stance, the challenge will be to the security apparatus on how to maintain security as large numbers are expected on Monday. Elizabeth Motuko, TV47 Palm Buildings, Nairobi.
Thank you for that, Elizabeth. Let's pause politics for a bit. And security officers this morning bombed a bandits' hideout in Tandare Valley in Baringo County as the security operation in the area intensifies. The joint security operation comprising of the Kenya Defence Forces, the police and the anti-stock theft unit kicked off in the morning following the lapse of a 24-hour vacate order issued by Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki. However, it is not clear if security personnel arrested any bandits during the early morning raid. As the second phase of the security operation in the Kenya North enters day 3 Thursday, the strong arm of the law was felt this morning after anti-stock theft unit officers bombed Tandare village in Baringo County, one of the bandits' hideouts targeted by the government. Locals close to the area claim that they had more than 10 bomb explosions which started at 6 a.m.
Kutoka asubuhi ndio tulianza kusikia migurumo ikilia huko, lakini haikuwa karibu, ilikuwa bari. Tulikuwa tukisikia hizo. Halafu pia kulikuwa na ndege zilikuwa zinapitia juu.
The residents who also claim to have spotted the military helicopters in the area now want officers carrying out the operation to be accountable.
Naomba hivi serikali arudishe mtu ya ukweli. Haja kuja kuturushia hapa coronet kurusha watu kusema amepuguswa na kumbe wako hapa Tandare tu. Kesho unaona hata mbuzi akitaramuka hapa. Dakika kidogo kama saa 8 kama saa hii ndio hii ng'ombe anaenda.
Saa 3 hivi tukasikia malio ya mapom hapo chini ya Tandare. Sasa kusikia tukaona sasa hata moyo wetu hakuna na amani. Sababu tunaona hii watu hawezi kufanya kitu. Sababu hata ya juzi alifanya hivyo. Akaenda na mlio tabari 3 hata ya leo alifanya hivyo.
Amba serikali kusaidia sisi. Kusaidia sisi kwa tabu ya kulia, ya kukuba ovyo, ya kukimbia, wanalala kwa nyumba.
Following the expiry of a 24-hour vacate order issued by Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki on Sunday, security troops are set to continue the combined land and air operation to comb caves, gorges and ravines in insecurity-prone areas in the Kenyan north. However, the operation has come under scrutiny by security experts and stakeholders, some opining that IEBC should review the boundaries in the 6 affected counties. According to Captain Peter Mermer, a retired GSC officer from West Pokot County, the Interior Ministry should activate retired officers to help in restoring peace in the affected counties.
Ningeomba Kindiki withdraw jeshi, polisi waendelee na kazi yao, aite wazee, aite retired officers, wakutane. Hata juzi niliongea na governor wa Elgeyo Marakwet kuhusu hiyo, na akakubaliana na mimi kuwa we must use retired officers na wazee tupate suluhisho ya hii maneno ya amani.
And meanwhile, Kenyans have ranked Interior Cabinet Secretary as the best performing cabinet secretary following his efforts to fight bandits in the northern part of the country. According to the latest survey released by research firm Mizani Africa, Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Machogu is rated second. However, the research by Mizani Africa indicates that Kenya is not headed to the right direction, as Gilbert Nalua reports.
According to the latest polls by research firms Mizani Africa and the Center of African Progress, 59% of respondents in the survey are opposed to Azimio la Umoja organized anti-government rallies, while 37% feel that it is the right thing to do, whereas 4% seems not interested in the discussion.
For those who disapprove the move by the opposition leader Raila Odinga, it was 59% of our respondents. For those who approve, that is, those who agree with his move to go on and continue holding anti-government protest, there was 37% of respondents supporting him, and there was about 4% that are not interested in what is going on.
Statistics from Mizani Africa further shows that 30% of the total 4,272 sample size used in the survey across the 47 counties places Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki ahead, followed by Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Machogu at 9% as the most performing cabinet secretaries.
The person who topped this list as the best person, or the person who has performed best as a cabinet secretary, was Kithure Kindiki at 30%, followed by Ezekiel Machogu at 9%.
Kindiki's best performance was based on his efforts to tackle the insecurity cases in the country through the deployment of KDF soldiers to the bandit-affected regions, as well as fighting illegal alcohol and drug abuse. Trade Cabinet Secretary Moses Kuria was ranked the second in terms of being responsive to human public demands at 16% after Kithure Kindiki, who came first at 21%. Agriculture and Transport Cabinet Secretaries Mithika Linturi and Kipchumba Murkomen took the third and fourth positions at 9 and 7% respectively. Gilbert Nalwa, TV 47.
Now, a postmortem conducted on the body of 30-year-old Joseph Kamau Kang'ethe, one of the suspects accused of stealing an unknown amount of money from United Bank in Kigumo, Murang'a County, has revealed that he had 9 bullet wounds in his body, with the police maintaining that Kang'ethe and his co-accused sustained gunshot injuries during a shootout amid questions over the incident. This even as IPOA moves in to investigate the late last week incident. Mwege William with more details.
Thursday, an autopsy that lasted for more than 3 hours conducted on the body of 30-year-old Joseph Kamau Kang'ethe indicated that he had been shot 3 times on the head and 6 times at the back. The 3 bullets on the head had an entry and exit point, but the other 6 bullets without an exit. Further, the post-mortem report highlighting that the deceased died of gunshot wounds with bruises on the legs, wrist and the back, indicating that he could have been hit with a blunt object. The pathologist recommending that an X-ray scan be done on the body to establish if there were more bullets stuck in the body. However, the report pointed that the suspect could have been shot at a close range. The new revelation by the post-mortem deepens the mystery into the death of the two suspects, with Central Region Regional Commissioner stating that the two had earlier been apprehended by police officers, only for a shootout to occur later when the two are said to have taken officers to recover firearms they are alleged to have been in possession of.
Unfortunately, as the officers were moving in the thicket, looking for the possible position where the firearms may have been hidden, they were met by gunfire. And I think this is what prompted the officers to take cover and engage the other group in an exchange of fire.
But according to Kamau's father, who is calling for investigation into the matter, his son was an ex-officer who could have been accorded and subjected to the criminal justice system, reading malice to the events that led to the demise of his son.
Mimi ombi langu kwa serikali, ningetaka ichunguzwe kini kabisa mpaka ukweli ijulikane, kwa sababu nimeshindwa sana vile mtu anaweza kuwa ameshikwa na tena unasikia tena ameuawa. Sasa hiyo inakuwa na complication kwangu na ningetaka ukweli isimame.
Already the Independent Policing Oversight Authority IPOA has commenced investigations into the matter.
The issue that these suspects were killed by our officers is not true. Yeah, and that's why we are saying the National Police Service has IPOA as an agency that investigates.
I do apologize for that. Now, 40 counties are yet to pay healthcare workers their February salaries and allowances. This is according to the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union, who have intensified calls that will ensure healthcare services are reverted back to the national government to ensure better healthcare services. Sylvia Nyongesa reports.
According to KMPDU Secretary General Dr. Dav Jibimji, delays by the Treasury to release funds to counties have paralyzed operations in the devolved units, as many employees are yet to be paid their dues for the month of February, thus affecting the quality of services offered in health facilities.
Over 35 of them have not paid the salaries. The few that have paid have had an agreement with the banks to do the overdraft, to pay the net salaries. And in that process, the statutory deductions, the NHIF, the bank loans, the union dues, all these other statutory deductions then are not paid. It's an injustice to expect them to be in the facilities to take care of the patients when they can't pay their bills.
Taken debt, others mortgages, deductions are all done, they cannot attend, even hospital, even insurances, they are not functional. You get sick, you have to pay out of pocket, you are not being paid, unless they want healthcare workers to die.
10 years since the health sector was devolved, health workers have termed the move as a big mistake, intensifying calls for the formation of a constitutional health service commission that will be tasked with registration, recruitment and employment of medical workers.
Health service commission was there even in their manifesto, the Kenya Kwanza government. But once we reminded them this, they ran helter skelter. This says, the Council of Governors says it is not possible. The national government says it is not possible. So what is possible is for healthcare workers to work without salaries.
The government pay all the workers mid-month. It's high time that the healthcare workers in the county be fit some dignity in terms of their salary payments. It's alarming that every month we have to depend on the agreement between the two levels of government. We need the salaries aspect to be sorted.
The union also proposes that the government should pay healthcare workers directly from the exchequer and a budget set aside annually for recruitment of additional healthcare workers. In a letter to Treasury Cabinet Secretary dated March 9th, Council of Governors Chair Anne Waiguru said county governments are yet to receive 92 billion shillings for the 2022-2023 financial year. TV47 has also seen notices from Vihiga and Nyeri counties informing all county employees of delayed salaries for the month of February following delayed allocations by the Treasury. Healthcare workers will benefit greatly should the establishment of a Health Service Commission be adopted. A credible commission will address challenges facing health workers, among them persistent strikes witnessed over the years. Sylvia Nyongesa, TV47, Nairobi.
Now to some party politics, and Kenya's independent Grand Party, KANU, continues to face challenges with the wrangles and infighting becoming the order of the day. The new Secretary General, George Wainaina, has assumed office, promising to turn things around. This comes amid mass exit by members, crippling the party's day-to-day activities. Here is Paul Kirobi with the details.
Party leader as Oka is Kalonzo Musyoka, but we asking.
Internal wrangles have become the order of the day inside Kenya's longest-serving party, KANU, that ruled for 24 years after Kenya's independence from British colonial rule in 1963 until its electoral loss in 2002. The recent wrangles forced the Secretary General Nick Salat to resign and later join the ruling party United Democratic Alliance affiliated to President William Ruto, the new Secretary General promising to steer the party towards the right direction.
We are not folding this party at all. And as you know, the history of this party, if there will be any one party which will remain, it is KANU. We have talked about this defection, and our members, some of them even who resigned late last year, they are still defecting today. And I'm sure if there will be another platform tomorrow and the day after, they will still defect. But we are kindly asking them at least not to misuse our colors when they are doing so.
A section of members defected recently in a move which is termed by the Secretary General as ill-advised. This as the Independence Party continues to fade out slowly.
Some of those you saw yesterday, you had even seen them on Monday. That's why we are saying these people have been defecting. They started in Bomet, they started in Nakuru, they have been defecting all the time. So really, how can they be our members and be members of NEC with all this defection?
The party is still there. We have new office bearers in office now. And we shall, as the chairman recently said in our NEC meeting, we shall have soon a drive to recruit new members.
However, a Muriadikir member of parliament who was also a member of KANU, Joanna Ngeno, argues that the process of revamping the party seems to lack clear vision in its agenda ahead of the 2027 general election.
What I think KANU lacked, and is still lacking even up to now, is a strong leader, a strong leadership in that particular party. Because when you look even at the opposition, when you look at Azimio, the reason why Azimio is still surviving is because of that strong leadership in that Azimio. The reason why Kenya Kwanza actually won the president is because of the strong leadership and the agendas and the vision they have for the country. So if you do not have a strong leader, you do not have a vision, you do not have a serious following, then obviously you cannot move.
Kenya was a one-party state until December 1991, when a special conference of the ruling Kenya African National Union KANU agreed to introduce a multi-party political system. Currently, the ruling UDA party is hell-bent on forcing other political parties affiliated with Kenya Kwanza Alliance to fold and join the ruling party ahead of the next general election. Paul Kirobi, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you for that, Paul Kirobi. We're taking a short break. Keep talking to us at TV47KE on Facebook. And when we come back, we'll be coming back with your weekly dose of The Fact Checker.
As you enter a new phase of life, you may seem lost until you discover the passion within.
I'm happy
that MKU decided to open a branch in Malindi to make work easier for those parents who have never been away from their kids or children.
That's all the equipment that I need to study and all the facilities that I need.
Simply have one of the most beautiful and ultra-modern structure.
Join us at Mount Kenya University and Equip Africa Institute Malindi Odell Center to build your future. Intake in April for electronic learning and May for distance learning. Mount Kenya University.
Unlocking infinite possibilities.
Karibuni.
Mount Kenya. Platinums.
Welcome back. You're watching TV47 News Tonight. Now, drama ensued in a funeral service at Kitinda Village, Kandui constituency, Bungoma County, after the body of a man who died a week ago was returned to Bungoma Referral Hospital mortuary. Following a row between family members, the deceased Crisanda Sifuna had two wives, and both families now want to bury him. This story was produced by Wanji Sostin.
Hata kaburini tumechimba, tumekaa na watu wenye kukucha kufariji wengi zaidi, lakini wameenda kwa sababu watoto wamekatalia mwili. Mtu akienda huko kama majirani ama jamii wanafukuza na mapanga.
A burial service of Mzee Chisandus Sifuna was disrupted at Kitinda village in Kandui constituency after family members disagreed over his burial site. Addressing the press, Sarah Mulongo, the daughter of the deceased, said her father must be buried at her mother's homestead, blaming the second family of instigating chaos on the final day.
Wakati tulikuwa tumeanza kujiandaa mazishi, watoto wa kule walisema kwamba hata mkikaa hapa hakuna mazishi ambayo itafanyika katika hili boma. Na sisi tukaonelea acha wageni waingie, waendelee kuingia, tutaona chenye kitatendeka.
Mzee tekea siku kwa amani. Alikuwa mwenyewe amesema atazikwa kwa boma yake kwa mama mdogo. Sisi hatutaki mambo na fujo, na kama unataka fujo sitafanya fujo.
She says that according to the tradition, the first family is the one that is entitled to bury their kin.
Sisi tumesema tu tunazika mzee hapa kwake. Huko chini hana bibi, kwani wanaweza kuzika kwa shamba yenye haina hata nyumba. Na wewe uko na bibi yako. Tuelewane, hata kama ni mwaka mzee akae tu mochari. Tutaelewana ndio zisige mzee.
Tunaomba serikali kama inatusikia mahali walipo. Sisi watoto wa nyumba kubwa tunapenda watu waachilie mwili wa baba, sisi tuweze kuzika baba kwa shamba la baba, kwa maana ile shamba ya huko ambapo anataka kumzika baba ni shamba la kununuliwa.
The incident shocked the residents, and intervention of the village elders to continue with the burial didn't bore any fruit.
Ni jambo ambalo la huzuni na la kushtuka sana, kwa sababu katika mji huu jambo kama hili halijawahi tokea. Ndio mara ya kwanza.
Tangia jamaa aage, tumekuwa tukipanga mazishi yake, lakini kufikia leo asubuhi tumeona kwamba pande mbili za familia hazijaelewana.
A ritual was done at the graveside and a banana tree was buried to ward off bad luck and misfortune as the body was returned to Bungoma Referral Hospital mortuary.
Now, a middle-aged man has allegedly stabbed his wife to death in Kasarani area here in Nairobi County before he attempted to take his life last night. The 2 a.m. incident shocked residents who say they have never witnessed any confrontations or disputes between the two lovers. Andrin Kilemi reports.
Majimazuri residents in Kasarani area here in Nairobi are still reeling in shock after a middle-aged man allegedly stabbed to death his wife last night. The heinous act, according to their firstborn daughter, occurred hours after their father, a boda operator within Mwiki town, arrived home from work last night.
Msichana anatuambia tu venye anakumbuka aliingia bedroom akaua mama. Alafu akatoka akaambia mtoto akakuja sitting, ndio watoto wanalala sitting. Akaamsha msichana akamwambia, "Amka, uone venye nimefanya mama yako." So msichana akaamka, akakwenda kushuka, akaona dadi ameshika kisu na imejaa damu. Sasa msichana akapiga magoti akaambia dadi usinifanyie kitu.
Neighbors say they are yet to recover from the shocking incident as they have never witnessed disputes between the two lovers.
Hatuwezi kujua kama walikuwa nazoshana cause hakunanga shida. Wani watu tu wapole, hawananga maneno, mzee anakusalimia, mama anakusalimia, mama anabebanga na pikipiki, baba ni Masai, ni Mtanzania, anabebanga na pikipiki. Mama na yeye ni wa saloon. So anakuja asubuhi, anafanya kazi zake, anaenda job, anakuja, hawananga shida na mtu.
The man is said to have locked himself in the house with the body of the deceased lying in bed before police officers arrived at the scene of crime.
Amesumbuana sana na polisi. Sababu hata polisi alikuwa anawatishia na hiyo kisu kwanza wanatoroka.
The body of the deceased has been moved to the city mortuary as the suspect continues to recuperate at the Mama Lucy Hospital. Andrin Kilemi, TV 47.
Now listen to this next story. The harsh economic times has forced children aged below 7 in Diani, Kwale County to work to provide for their families. The young children are involved in the harvesting of ballast in Diani, with poverty and harsh economic times forcing the children drop out of school to provide for their families.
In Shikamana village, Diani, Kwale County, we meet Mchekwesha Managale and her children as they go to harvest ballast. The environment they live in is testament to high level of poverty. As such, as other children go to school, these children harvest ballast for them to put food on the table. Here at Maweni, area residents are at work. The mother and her children are also at work.
Narauka kitu saa 11. Naja hapa tumboni. Nafanya kazi ya kokoto. Kwa siku 150. Na nikija na watoto wangu vile. Nashinda hapa na jua mpaka jioni napata 150. Naenda kununua chakula nilishe watoto.
Her children are among several others who depend on ballast harvesting in a bid to sustain their poor families financially.
Na watoto 10 na sina uwezo wa kulea, hata baadaye nasaidiwa na mama Gladys. Shida yangu kubwa ni watoto wangu wasome, shida yangu kubwa ni watoto wangu wakule, wavae.
Hii si kazi ya kutegemea, ni ile tu unafanya ili upate ile chakula kwenda kuriski na watoto. Saa zingine hata tunasaidiwa na mama Gladys, anakuja anatupata tumegonga, lakini bosi hana pesa. Anatuambia hapa leo hakuna pesa, so tunahitaji msaada sana, mtusaidie.
These families now appealing to well wishers to help them come out of their current economic situation.
Msimu wa mvua unaelekea na ile nyumba ambao wako inaanguka, imeharibika, na ikianza kunyesha kama saa hii, na wale watoto wote na pamoja na mama na baba watakuwa hawana mahali wanaweza kukaa.
Mike Kagwongo, TV 47.
Now to your weekly dose of the Fact Checker. And on this week's Fact Checker, you might have come across this trending video of Azimio leader Raila Odinga during a public rally in Mtwapa, Kilifi County, stating that the Azimio coalition garnered 5,900,000 votes in the August 2022 presidential polls, while President William Ruto garnered 8,100,000 votes. Take a look.
Ambayo inaonyesha ukweli kabisa ya kwamba Bwana Ruto alipata kura 8,100,000. Sisi tulipata kura 5,900,000.
So now we took a closer look at it and realized that it is actually fake. So how did we know that the video is doctored? We went to the Azimio TV Facebook page and previewed the full and original video posted on the page to ascertain which parts of the video had been edited. Now, in the original video, Raila Odinga is heard maintaining his stance that the presidential elections were not credible, further pointing out that Ruto garnered 5,900,000 votes while he got 8,100,000 votes. Have a look.
Kukatokea mtu mwingine kule ndani ya hiyo shirika ya kupiga kura, akapiga firimbi, inaitwa whistleblower, akapiga firimbi, akasema bwana jamaa wamesema uongo bwana, ukweli ndio hiyo. Akatoa kila kitu akatoa na akaweka kule kwenye runinga, ambayo inaonyesha ukweli kabisa ya kwamba Bwana Ruto alipata kura 5,900,000 na sisi tulipata kura 8,100,000.
Right, and that was our fact check this week. And remember, always pause before sharing misinformation or even disinformation. And you can always talk to us and share any single particular information that you want to be fact checked. Now, from matters the fact checker to the wonderful world of business. Now tonight, the Cooperative Bank has increased its shareholders' dividends by more than 50% after posting a net profit of 22 billion Kenyan shillings for the year ended December 2022, compared to 16.5 billion shillings in the financial year ending 2021. The bank attributes the jump. Its net interest income increased from 41 billion shillings to 45.5 billion shillings. The strong performance means the bank will pay 8.8 billion shillings to its shareholders, the highest ever paid by the bank.
The Cooperative Bank of Kenya has posted a net profit of 22 billion shillings for the financial year ended December 2022 from 16.5 billion shillings in 2021. The jump, representing a 30% increase in growth, will see the bank increase its dividends to shareholders by more than 50%, translating to 8.8 billion shillings payout to its shareholders, the highest ever paid by the bank. This is after the bank recommended a dividend of 1 shilling and 50 cents, a 50% increase on the 1 shilling paid in 2021. The dividend is a major boost to cooperatives, which holds a 64.5% majority stake in the bank and will receive an estimated 5.7 billion shillings. The bank has further reported shareholders' funding to have grown from 102 billion shillings to 107 billion shillings in the current financial year, representing a 7.4% increase from 2021. The bank's growth trajectory has also been its total net interest income grow by 10.9% from 41 billion shillings to 45.5 billion shillings. The bank's loan portfolio also grew to 339.4 billion shillings from 310.2 billion in 2021, representing a 9.4% growth. Customer deposits also grew to 423.8 billion shillings from 407.7 billion shillings, representing an increase of 3.9%. The bank's total assets further grew to 607.2 billion shillings from 579.8 billion shillings in the same period last year. The bank's managing director, Gideon Muriuki, says the bank will continue to pursue strategic initiatives that focus on resilience and growth in the various economic sectors. According to Muriuki, the bank has disbursed 25.4 billion shillings to MSMEs, which the bank says are a critical part of economic recovery post-COVID. Muriuki has also attributed the growth to the lender's successful universal banking model, supported by innovative digital presence, with 5 million customers registering uptake of mobile wallet loans worth 84.2 billion shillings.
And meanwhile, KCB Group has posted 40.8 billion shillings in profit after tax for the full year ending December 2022 on high funded and non-funded income streams. This was a 19.5% rise in profitability from 34.2 billion shillings reported in 2021. Now, despite the fact that the lender has been consistent in paying dividends, the shareholder is expected to yield 2 shillings per share, way less from 3 shillings per share in 2021. However, Lawrence Kimathi, the Chief Financial Officer, has said that the group invested heavily in acquiring TMB towards the end of this financial year, where some investments need to go to.
Considering the prevailing uncertainties in the global economy, the group managed to remain resilient. 2022 was a challenging year with an economic slowdown across the region due to the lingering effects of our regional strategic growth continues to bear fruit. All subsidiaries outside Kenya continue to put up a strong show in their contribution to the group performance, and we are very optimistic to reach the 25% target that we set for ourselves in the very short term.
The total assets at 1.5 trillion. And as Paul was presenting, especially that slide on digital, where we were showing Fuliza average ticket size of 302, it just resonated with me that part of this 1.5 trillion comes out of that, from 302, an individual who borrows 302, to an entity that borrows 25 billion.
That 302, the message I have for all of us on that slide, is what transforms what people need is completely different from what we perceive as individuals. And for all our businesses is to make sure that those people that require the 302 get it in the cheapest and most convenient way.
And some agribusiness, National Bank of Kenya and the Ministry of Water, Sanitation and Irrigation have signed a partnership that will see farmers access affordable financing solutions to enable them invest in irrigation equipment and production equipments. Under the partnership, the Ministry of Water, Sanitation and Irrigation will provide policy guidance on the program, like technical advice on efficient irrigation systems and technologies. The partnership is expected to reduce post-harvest losses and enhance food and water security and overall growth of economy.
Expect them to have better outcomes because we interacted with them, and this doesn't stop in food production. When you have a nation that is food sufficient, you do have a nation that is healthier, you do have a nation that is more secure, and you have a nation that is well governed, and that process can be built, can be founded in this partnership. Them to invest in irrigation equipment, dam liners, production inputs, just among others, not excluding seeds. And this is something that we are prepared to provide a portfolio of our balance sheet to support.
That we are getting into a very clear commitment, especially us on the government, what we are supposed to do, and we are committed to do it. The issue of policy, address the issue of policy, technical support, we'll be able to do that, information linkages, and also at the same time also, we will play a role of being a facilitator, in order to ensure they are non.
And finally, a joint departmental committee on finance and planning and the committee on communication, information and innovation is probing the 6 billion shillings Telkom Kenya buyout saga. The joint committee that was chaired by Molo MP Francis Kuria questioned how the government made payments to buy Telkom shares from private entities days before last year's general election. Telkom submitted that it neither received nor disbursed any funds relating to the exit of Jamhuri Holding Limited and is therefore not aware of any details of payees, account particulars and amounts paid. The Treasury had acquired a 60% stake in Telkom Kenya, making the company fully state-owned.
My name is Public Communication by Jamhuri Holdings, so that Telkom will be fully owned by Government of Kenya. So this came to the attention of
And we'll definitely be following up on all that and other business news later on in the week. Now to business, not to sports news. And we begin with some FKF action. Sofapaka registered a 3-1 win over Kakamega Homeboys in the FKF Premier League Round 20 fixture played today at Kasarani Annex. Rodi Manga gave Sofapaka the lead in the second minute, giving Sofapaka a first half lead. Sebastian Sunday then doubled for Sofapaka in the 55th minute, and Simon Munala made it 3 for Sofapaka in the 80th minute. Elsewhere, Posta Rangers fell 1-0 to AFC Leopards, while Tusker fought back to a 2-2 draw against Ulinzi.
Of course, tulitaka kutengeneza mpira. I think today my players walikuwa na ile courage ya kucheza mpira. The squad, we bring in new players. Unaweza kaona the orientation yetu saizi, of course, is continue to build team.
Utilizing our chances, na hiyo ndio imekuwa our undoing things. These 3 games tumecheza hizi to concede bao. Ukiona tunapata a lot of chances but we are not utilizing them. So hiyo ni kitu ambayo inatukwaza sana. Maanake kwa kila game tunapata chances lakini tunapiga viuma, saa zingine tunapata free chance na goalkeeper tunapoteza hiyo chance. So hiyo ni kitu ambayo inatuumiza sisi makocha wa team kiakili sana.
And Tennis Kenya will be hosting its first ever ITF World Ranking Beach Tennis Tournament from 18th to 19th March at the Kenya Beach Games that is set to take place in Malindi. The tournament that will comprise of 32 pairs of players, 16 pairs of men and 16 pairs of women has attracted players from Rwanda, Spain, Germany, Uganda and Sudan. 2019 Commonwealth bronze medalist Faiz Khan will be the guy to beat as he partners with German Torsten Salm with an aim of scooping more points and getting a gold medal for Kenya. The second edition of the Games is expected to be held along the Lake Victoria region later in the year.
Here today to do a trial run of the court to see how they are set up, if they are aligned to the sun, east and west, and the site itself is quite good. The draws are set up already. The total number of entries that we should have in each category of the men and the women double.